Am I the butthole for embarrassing my dad on Facebook over his post about being a single dad? I've, male 16, lived with my grandparents my whole life. My mom took off when I was a baby and haven't seen her since. So my dad left me with his parents and they basically raised me. My dad was kind of around but not really. He'd sometimes come to take me to his house for the night every month, drop me off and be gone again. As a kid I used to always ask him how come I can't live with him, and his reason was always because he works a lot. When I got older I sort of saw the truth, which is he likes to live single lifestyle. He's had like a million girlfriends and that's how I ended up with 4 other half-sibs. But they still live with their moms, so we only get to hang out when it's my dad's custody time because he just leaves them at my grandparents and doesn't hang out with any of us. We're all used to it by now, but what's annoying is to his girlfriends and friends he acts like he's a hero for being a single dad. He talks about how hard it is. Then brings me up specifically because my mom walked out, so it's like he cares for me full time. I usually don't say anything but it bothers me. He made a Facebook post the other day. It was an older pic of him with me and my brothers the one time he took us to a soccer game 4 years ago. He was talking about sacrifices, but it's worth being a single dad. This made me mad and I commented, "You haven't even come to the house in like a month." Which is true, haven't seen him since a few days after Thanksgiving. He deleted his post and got mad at me for embarrassing him. My dad said I was being disrespectful and I don't know what it's like to be a single dad providing for us, so I don't get to act that way. He was really mad about it, and after I thought about it for some time I guess it was petty to embarrass him by calling out his BS, so I wanted to know if it was butthole-ish for doing it. NTA. Truth hurts, I guess. A once-a-month parent isn't as comparable to single parents who have their kids full-time. He is only sacrificing one night a month to be with you. Though, a question does pop into mind: does he provide financial support to your grandparents for expenses? Same goes with your half-siblings. I hope he is being financially supportive. Also, does he celebrate holidays and birthdays with any of the kids? But other than that, one night a month is quite isolating, so you are right in calling him out. Also, his post embarrasses itself since he used an old photo. Guess he doesn't have anything more recent? Nah, he doesn't. My grandpa has his own business, so they never needed money from him. He spends money when he takes me out to eat or buys birthday gifts. I don't know about my half-brothers. Holidays not really, but usually he does come by on birthdays. Yay, so it is not a sacrifice since he is not working to help with expenses. It is when convenient for him. A father of convenience, I guess. As for holidays, I guess he is with his girlfriend at the time. Thanks for answering my inquiries. Either way, he should be called out and he should be embarrassed. It's not a sacrifice regardless. It's a duty. I've never seen my time with my son as a sacrifice. Time with my wife, on the other hand. Just kidding, love my wife almost as much as I love my son. Huh, well, you can choose a wife. Wait, you can't choose your kid? I thought that's why they have them all in one room. I have some explaining to do. My brother and I were both adopted. When I was 4 we went to the hospital to get him. We went to the nursery and my mom pointed my brother out to me and said, "There's your baby brother." I thought she was pointing out which one we wanted to the nurse. For a long time I thought that was how you got a baby. That is a really cute and sweet story, made me smile. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. This is so adorable and wholesome. Thank you for sharing. It was the sweet little pick-me-up my day needed. That's so wrong even for me, dude, laughing out loud. I think it's okay to admit that sometimes you sacrifice things for your kids. Having kids is on its own a sacrifice. It takes time, money, and effort. But you can't laud your status of parenthood if you do none of the things that are laudable. That's like claiming to be an expert sea diver because you went snorkeling once as a cruise ship excursion. Too long, didn't read. You can't be proud of having made sacrifices to be a good parent if someone else made those sacrifices for you. Time with my wife, on the other hand. Thank you for the irreverent humor. My husband and my mom, who has been more my close friend than my mother since my early adulthood, have an ongoing joke about whether or not he can still return me, after 2 kids and 14 years together. She reminds him that he didn't keep the receipt, and he's stuck with me. I good-naturedly call them both dickheads, We all laugh and the world keeps on turning. An outsider once witnessed this exchange and was horrified that they would both abuse me, and that I was so disrespectful in return. My eyes rolled so hard they fell out and got stuck under the couch. My mom and my husband are the two people in this world who I could call to help me hide a dead body, no questions asked. Talking crap is just an Olympic sport in our family. I love seeing other people who don't take themselves or their relationships too seriously. Not a duty, but a effing honor. Obligatory single dad post here. I wish all dads felt like that. You seem like a good one, heart. Wear that badge of honor, dude. Sports medal. Wow. Thank you so much. If it is a once a month thing, then original post has seen him under 200 times in his life. That isn't sacrificing. As someone who grew up with a single parent, please tell your birth father, because let's be real, your grandparents are your parents, to pull his head out of his ass. Who has raised you? Your grandparents. Honestly, I think you were nice about it. NTA. He really was very nice about it. I would have been super petty. Aw, thanks, Dad. I always appreciate when you let my half-sibling stay with me and my grandparents, who I live with full-time, so we can bond. And thank you so much for sacrificing one day of every month to spend time with me. Such a great dad. Seriously, a man who comes by once a month and takes you out and brings you an occasional present isn't a dad, it's an uncle. That is literally the relationship I have with my nephews, and I certainly don't consider it a sacrifice, it's a privilege. He's barely a family friend at this point. NTA for sure. He sounds like a narcissist. He probably loves the attention he gets by talking to others in the community and on social media about what a sacrificing dad he is. Yeah, his work excuse is bullcrap when that money isn't going to support his kids. It's understandable to need your parents' help for childcare when you're a single parent, but that's no excuse for not seeing your kids. I lived with my dad while I was a single mom. But my kid lived with me too. It's more like dad is the occasional babysitter since he barely sees the kids. I feel really sad and disappointed that his parents didn't hold him to a higher standard. Your father sounds a lot like my ex-stepfather. He basically pretends he doesn't have kids unless it will score him some sympathy or respect. He abandoned both of his children, of two different mothers. Unfortunately, he's not going to change. He has a pattern of this behavior that's well set. Just remember, your father's actions and behavior have absolutely no bearing on you and your personality. Don't let people judge you based on your father, you had no choice in being his child. Just remember, your father's actions and behavior have absolutely no bearing on you. Well, his father's actions do have a bearing on him, they absolutely affect him. What his father's actions/behavior are not, is a reflection on Op. Original post deserved better parents than the ones he got. I'm glad he has his grandparents in his life. I should have clarified. I meant in a sense that the actions of his father don't determine the future actions of Op. Op shouldn't tolerate being treated poorly just because their father is a deadbeat. Of course. Hopefully the only way his father's action determine Op's future actions are as a guide of how not to be. I think it was meant more along the line of Op's father's actions, or inactions, are absolutely no reflection upon Op's worth as a son, grandson, or human being, and therefore should not factor into any decision-making or future plans. I just want to say that your response, and the way you wrote it, was hilarious. I would have bust out laughing if I saw that on my feed. Good on you for calling out the bullcrap. Did your grandparents say anything? Something tells me they've had about enough of his bullcrap too. In case you don't see my top-level comment, your sperm donor is not a real father, and deserves any mockery he received. He is as bad as those who fake military service to impress people. He wants all the glory of someone who makes sacrifices, but none of the sacrificial part. He has deprived you of an actual parent/child relationship, and has deprived you and your grandparents of actual grandparent/child relationships. Neither of these is right. Sounds to me he's wanting single dad social status, but acts more like that chill uncle you see every now and then. Which is fine, for a relative. Not for a dad. Honestly, I'd call him out on every post he makes, especially since he's not even providing financially. Divorced non-custody dads do more than him, and he's out here claiming he's super dad? Get out. OMFG, he doesn't even sacrifice for you financially? That makes his response even more hilarious. I'm an actual single parent and I want to know what exactly he's sacrificing since it's not time or money. Well, it does take time to make all those Facebook posts. You come across as very level-headed and self-aware for your age. It sounds like your paternal grandparents must be really fantastic people, although it's weird that none of it rubbed off on your father. I just hope you have some really good friends that you can rely on for guidance in life. Grandparents can't do everything. I know you didn't come here asking for advice, but when I was your age I made a lot of mistakes that I attribute to doing things on my own without really any paternal guidance at all. It's always good to have a strong role model you can look up to and confide in as you navigate the transition between teenage years and adulthood. So he doesn't know what it's like to be a single dad providing either. You didn't embarrass your father. He embarrassed himself. Dad, you don't know what it's like being a single dad. Neither do you. This is the best comeback. There are no better comebacks. NTA, 100%, agree. He doesn't get to be an absentee father and then use his kids as a tool to cultivate a false image of himself for his Facebook friends. I'd be willing to bet money that he only makes those posts after he adds some chick he just met. He's just mad because he got called out and lost his chance to hook up. I'm thinking the single dad thing is a hook he uses for potential girlfriends. NTA, it sounds like both of your parents abandoned you, just one of them sees you occasionally when it's convenient for him. It sounds like he's using original posts to impress women. Fatherly instinct is attractive and he knows it, but he didn't actually have it. He's a deadbeat baby daddy that's painting himself as a single father to get laid. That is because they want to impress young and in their 20s women. This crap doesn't fly with women my age, early 30s. You will be surprised how many single dads will proudly proclaim they see their kids every other weekend and get mad when they get called on it. As if your ex doing 80% of the childcare instead of 90 is good. Also the amount who lie, how often and how long they take care of their kids, and the reasons why their baby mama decided to run for the hills while the kid is still in diaper is just astounding. Before some buttholes come at me with my court system, I live in Norway. The minute parents split, the government gives you child custody mediation. Almost more than half of the men choose to be one weekend per month dad by their own volition and pay child support. You have right to sue the ever-loving crap out of your baby mama if she doesn't agree on split custody, and in some cases women lost their children for not allowing access to them, sometimes for even less, like crafty angry message. Barnevernet doesn't F around. How this man didn't repel every single woman with more than 2 baby mamas and more than 3 kids is beyond me. I wonder if he has magic penis or something. U.S. custody arrangements are decided between the parents without the courts, too. Web link. My dad's third wife told me that she thought he was a good parent because he always paid his child support, even though he stopped his twice-monthly custody weekends with me when he started seeing her. The standards for what is acceptable male parenting can't be lower in this day and age. My God. Paying child support while not being in your kid's life is a good dad. I want off this planet. Please don't make statements like your first sentence. Murphy might view it as a challenge. My friend dated a dude like this. Pretended to be this struggling father, fighting for custody of his kid. She fell for it, thought he was this amazing guy, and they got serious. Soon she realized she was the one arranging all the visits with his kid. She was the one making sure the kid felt included in their lives. The efforts he claimed to have been making to get partial custody? Non-existent. Then she got pregnant by him and it was a huge wake-up call for her. OMG, this guy can't be bothered with the kid he already has. Why did I stay with him this long? She left after their daughter was born, and he's the same with their kid. He just played the doting dad to make her think he was this sweet, loving guy when he's really just a selfish womanizer. She used to have to beg him to call the kid on her birthday, to take her for his weekends with her. He had a revolving door of different girlfriends, all who thought she was the villain and he was this loving dad, but the cycle just kept repeating. He's married now and has more kids with his wife. My friend is like, my only consolation is that his wife is really great, so I know that when he begrudgingly takes our daughter, at least one decent adult is in the house with her. My old friend moved thousands of miles, without telling anyone first, to be with a guy like this. Guy has at least 15 children, but probably more, she wouldn't say, none with the same mother. Turns out she moved because she's pregnant. She's also younger than the guy's oldest child, couple years, but now is called the mom of them. I wish that she figured this out about him. She's the kind who doesn't admit she's wrong, though, even if it'll help her. Instead, she wouldn't admit what was happening to anyone and pushed everyone out of her life. It's really sad, and I just hope that when she's emotionally able, she'll admit it and get herself and her child out. If anything, what Op's mom did is less cruel, didn't dangle the hope of being together or use him to get laid/sympathy. Yeah, not to minimize the pain of her absence, but in a way I can see it being less confusing to heal from she didn't want me than to heal from he says he's there but I feel a different painful thing over and over and I don't know what's real and I don't feel wanted but he makes me feel guilty. WTF, am I crazy? Or it's like gaslighting. He's telling original post his experience isn't real and even advertising the lie on Facebook. My ex-sister-in-law effed off when the kids were all in diapers. My nieces and nephews are all 17 to 20 and each one agrees the best thing their bio mom ever did for them was stay gone. None of this bouncing in and out of their lives. My first thought was /r/raised by narcissists until I realized those narcissists didn't even raise him. Poor kid. Super NTA. Reddit link. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.